Are you a pet entrepreneur and or pet marketing professional? Do you want a place where you can gain innovative marketing strategies, receive actionable advice, keep up with the latest trends, and thrive in today's market? Welcome to the Pet Marketing Mastermind. All guests are proven and successful marketers in the pet industry. Michelle, welcome to the Pet Marketing Mastermind. Let's start with your story. How did ShopDot come to life, and what inspired you to build a platform that connects brands and retailers in such an innovative way?
Yeah, so ShopDot Pet is actually my second company. My first company is a brand that I launched over 10, 12 years ago now. And for that particular company, it's more in the health and wellness space. And I noticed that a lot of service-based businesses like medical offices were recommending the product. And they would call our office and say like, hey, can you ship this particular product? That particular company is called Vim and Vigor. It's a compression sock company. And they would say, can you ship this compression sock to this particular patient? So it became this thing because I noticed that these service-based businesses were loving and recommending my product, but they were not doing traditional retail. These businesses, this is not what they do. They're not retailers, but they oftentimes recommend products as part of the service that they provide. So that's kind of how the idea of ShopDot came about. I raised venture capital funding for ShopDot, eventually really launched my beta, I would say late 2023. Ironically, not in the pet industry. I launched it more in the health and wellness industry, which is an area that I had the most experience in. But what was really interesting is I had two big pet brands join the platform randomly. And then I had all of these dog trainers and groomers sign up for ShopDot. And even though nothing about the platform talked about pet, nothing at all, they signed up. And I actually decided to interview them, and I asked them kind of why they joined the platform. And they said, well, we oftentimes are asked what products we recommend. There's no easy way for us to offer this. We don't want to send them to Amazon. We don't do traditional retail, and ShopDot just seemed like a really great solution. So this happened in early 2024. What I did is I actually went dark with the platform and then implemented a bunch of feedback that they gave and then relaunched summer of 2024 fully in pet under ShopDot Pet. So that's the origin story of ShopDot.
Wow, I had no idea. I love that. Like, the use case came from people that are like, "Oh, wow, this will be really cool because I can't offer this, and the other alternatives I don't like." And I just kind of stumbled to success, which I feel like is an awesome story.
Pivots. I mean, this is the thing about as a founder too, you're constantly pivoting, right? You have an idea and a hypothesis of where something is going to go, and you have to be really nimble about where the customers are, where the product market fit leads you to. And it just made a lot of sense in the pet industry.
Yes, I like the pivot a lot better than my original words of stumble, for sure. Yes, you definitely need that moment, because you don't know. When you launched it, you never would have thought potentially that you'd be going to pet conferences and meeting pet people, and all the fun things that are in the pet industry. So ShopDot isn't, for most people, a typical like e-commerce solution. How do you approach marketing a tech-driven B2B platform differently than you would potentially an in-house e-commerce product or a traditional e-commerce product?
Yeah, it's really, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of a little bit tricky because ShopDot inherently is a double-sided platform, right? In that we onboard pet brands onto the platform and we integrate directly with their Shopify store, their WooCommerce store, Magento, and we pull in the real-time inventory within ShopDot. And then from there, these brands can actually work and collaborate with who we call selling partners, which are the dog groomers and the trainers and these service-based pet care providers to easily sell products. And so the challenge of it is it's not like this kind of one-to-one interaction of I have a product, I'm doing e-commerce, I'm selling my own product. It's really selling the middleware platform or platform play where we enable commerce. So we really consider ourselves as more of a commerce enablement platform more than anything. The cool thing about what we're doing is we've got a combination of e-commerce plus drop shipping plus affiliate model into one platform, which has never really existed before.
Yeah.
Challenging because in terms of what we offer, but at the same time, a little bit challenging to talk about too.
Yeah, that connection of where it lives on people's understanding of the world of e-commerce, well, it's affiliate or drop ship, relationships. And yeah, you have that double-sided community of like retailers or trainers, untraditional retailers, and brand partners. What are some key strategies that you've employed that help you earn their trust and get them excited to join this brand new way of thinking about commerce?
From the brand side or from the selling partner side, or both?
Both, yeah.
Both, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same or different,
Yeah.
or if you have a kind of a trust fundamentals that you implement on both.
Yeah, I mean, for starters, from the brand supplier side or from the pet brand side, number one is we make sure we do demos and generally I personally onboard every pet brand that joins the platform. And I think that's really critical because it's important for me to kind of share the vision of where we are now, but also where we want to go with ShopDot and the opportunities, because it's such a new way of engaging with a completely underserved market. Our goal with ShopDot is to tap into pet service-based businesses and enable brands to partner effectively with them to enable to get their products in front of more customers. And it becomes this win-win-win. Brands get more exposure, these selling partners get to earn incremental revenue, but again, can create a robust e-commerce experience without having to carry the inventory. And then the pet parent also gets to support those businesses that they frequent on a regular basis. So, kind of sharing that story is a really important component. And so that's why really every brand that joins the platform, we make sure we do a personal onboarding call so they can understand the platform, how it works, and we get real-time feedback. In fact, like with all the feedback we've gotten over the past 6 months, we're retooling a lot of our platform as we speak, and we'll be relaunching our kind of new 2.0 version in about 6 to 8 weeks. So it's really critical that we stay very close to feedback that we're hearing from both sides. And then from the selling partner side or the pet care provider side, it's really understanding, we know that this is a pain point that they have. And the key is ShopDot as a platform is only as valuable as the brands that we have on, right? Like if we had a platform for you to sell pet products, we have no pet products or the right ones for them, it's really a useless platform. And so that's why we do spend a lot of time making sure we onboard the right brands onto the platform that really want to tap into this. And so far that's been working really well. I mean, a lot of the brands that we have on are actually came from our selling partners asking for these specific brands because they want to sell and they want to support these businesses. So it's kind of both sides that we really play on.
That is it's such a cool, I love the process because you go to this local service provider, whether it's a trainer or a dog boarding and daycare place, and they recommend a product for your dog. And instead of them holding inventory and buckets of it in the back and all their cash and inventory and buying this one and only could only buy one and they can only buy at a certain price to get the discount that make it make sense, all of the whole, the retail playbook, you kind of took it and you're like, throw it away. Let's restart with this e-commerce first innovative. It's a fantastic thing. I'm so excited to see the future of it.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
We talked about it a little bit. Your vision for ShopDot Pet blends technology with human connection. They shop on there. The trainer's telling them, hey, go buy this leash, go buy this collar, go buy this incentive thing, go buy this click thing, go buy this dog food. Was there an aha moment when you realized that the industry was ready for this kind of collaboration platform outside of obviously the trainers being on it? Was there this moment where you're like, wow, like, you saw a retailer, or maybe it was one of the trainer conversations you can talk about where like, they were like, I can't hold inventory in my van. What was that? What was that moment?
I honestly, I would say definitely, when we launched, especially in the pet, the area that we're getting a lot of organic growth is with dog trainers because it makes a lot of sense. It's a very intense but intimate relationship that a dog trainer has with a client, and the retail side or product hard goods side can play a very critical role towards a training process. And so we onboarded one of our early trainers and she's selling a lot of product. And what's great is she's just, for her, yes, of course, it's great to make incremental revenue. It's great to generate anywhere between 15 to 25% of the sale, which is what we're seeing the commissions being, which is fairly high. But for her, she wants to actually enhance the customer experience. She wants to make it easy for her clients to not send a bunch of screenshots or random Amazon links to try to find product, but instead direct them to a professional looking online storefront that has her name, that she has curated. And so it really helps, in her words, really elevate her business. And that's what's so rewarding about it. Having this tie-in and creating this really robust e-commerce experience elevates the service that they provide. And that's great because our whole customer base are these small to medium-sized local businesses. So that's a really critical part.
Amazing. Yeah, I love that connection as well, especially from a professional service provider. Like the right tool means the whole difference, especially in a dog training environment that like they tell you to buy this and you don't buy this, you buy whatever's discounted on Amazon on that day. They're not the right thing. Like the results may vary if you don't have the right
exactly.
tool. So it's a powerful integration between my advice and the product that I trust and makes sense and is long lasting. And all those wonderful things that the products on shop.pet provide. Going back to the marketing side of it. Oh, yeah.
I think another component too that we're seeing, and it's a huge evolution of a consumer, is consumers are experiencing what I call like endless aisle fatigue, right? Where you're going on a black hole on a Google search or Amazon, and you're told to buy a certain product or you want to buy a certain product, and you're presented with all of these options with some reviews that may not be even real, right? And as a consumer, you're making guesses, and frankly, these service providers are experts in kind of pet care. All they do all day, they're educated on that, is interacting with various types of pets. Like they really know and have experience and curated the right products. And so you're just, what we're doing is we're just enabling these businesses who are experts in this field to be able to curate products and hopefully get rid of some of the endless aisle fatigue by choosing the right products for the end customer.
I love that. The endless aisle fatigue. That is such a fun way of thinking about a very frustrating time of, you're on there and you're scrolling and you type in one keyword and then you see a paid ad and you see, it becomes this like, incredibly frustrating. Going back to marketing side of it, how do you market or how do you think about marketing shop.pet to those two different audiences, the brands? Well, you have three, the brands, the retailer, and the consumers. When you have to put on the marketing hat, how are you thinking about that? And what tactics have kind of worked best for each of those audiences?
So when we relaunched under shop.pet last summer, we focused specifically on just bringing on pet brands on. We had our platform for the selling partners, but we weren't heavily driving that because it's kind of pointless to go to a trainer or a groomer and say, hey, create a storefront and not have any pet brands on. So we focused specifically on that in the summer when we officially launched. So that was that part. And for that, a lot of it was word of mouth. A lot of it was walking the floor and the show floor of Super Zoo and Global Pet Expo. A lot of the brands that are there are great brands. And then also working with an advisory group of dog trainers and just asking them what brands and what products they recommend and just really going after it from that perspective. So it was a very kind of manual process there from the brand's perspective. From the selling partner side, our strategy is it's difficult because when you're dealing with service businesses, it's what I say an inch deep, mile wide. It also tends to be really fragmented on like, okay, how do I reach this in a critical way? So we've worked with and attended various dog training shows like APDT and Clicker Expo. So that was a great kind of channel for us to reach as many dog trainers. Another component that we're doing is we're actually embedding ShopDot almost like white label into booking and scheduling platforms in the pet space. So if you look at the pet industry, there's about 8 to 10 players for booking and scheduling. So we've spoken to most of them at this point, and have had a lot of interest in them utilizing and just embedding the functionality of ShopDot into their existing platform. So it's great because what's awesome about that is if I get into one integration, I can get into have thousands of these businesses start using the platform, which is great. And it becomes just like a win-win across the board. So a partnership model is really kind of our main growth strategy for driving the pet care businesses to sign up, and just working with various associations that, want to partake in this and kind of drive this with their network.
Very smart to go to those associations because they do kind of hold the keys to a lot of them. And then absolutely the booking software where they're always in there. Oh, I'll see you next Tuesday. Do you want to add something?
Add to cart. By the way, or even the post service. Hey, thank you for visiting XYZ Groomer. Here's some products that they recommended as a result, and all they have to do is add to cart, check out. So actually incorporating it into where the pet parent already lives and how they interact with those service businesses, I think is a very critical component to driving that transaction. And so it just makes logical sense to embedding yourself retail into all of those touch points is, I think, a very important part. And then also a lot of training. So we are meeting and really identifying ways that we could better train or better provide guidance to the selling partners, because these businesses are not used to doing retail. So how do we help them with that? Another big area of growth for us are actually rescues and shelters as well. We just came back from the Animal Care Expo in Las Vegas. And for that kind of segment, if you think about I think there's close to 50,000 animal welfare nonprofits in the country. And rather than just only relying on donations or grants, they can actually build an online storefront and sell pet essentials to their community and earn commission on that, in which can further help their organization. And in fact, we're actually building several features to further support those nonprofits. So one is a campaign tracker, another is a wish list builder, and the third is a verified nonprofit badge. So we're launching these features specifically for animal welfare nonprofits.
That is so amazing, because they have real tangible needs, and if somebody can go on there, buy it for them, but then also once you adopt, buy products through them that are trusted and a part of their mission and already vetted, alleviates some of that aisle fatigue for when you're getting that first puppy and what makes sense. So speaking e-commerce, there are some 10,000 or million-pound gorillas in the space. Chewy, Amazon, TikTok, the pet industry is highly coveted. What is your approach to branding and messaging that stands out above these big players in the space?
Yeah, if you look at all those players, it's a very centralized approach. You go on Amazon, you go on Chewy, and so it's a pure marketplace, right? That what they are marketplaces. ShopDot it's weird because we don't really position ourselves like a marketplace. We position ourselves as a commerce enablement platform. And so it's a different way of talking about it, because we are enabling these 500,000 pet service-based businesses that exist in the country to engage in retail, so our strategy is so different, and our business has a lot of similarities and overlap. But if you look at how we reach the end customer, it's not the end customer going on ShopDot. It's the end customer going on a daycare's ShopDot powered storefront or trainer's storefront that they have curated. So we're kind of that behind the scenes platform that enables this. And so that's how we're just such a different tool and different platform than those other players.
I love it. You're like natively integrated wherever the pet parent is in their interaction. They go to the daycare.
Right.
Oh yeah, I got to pick up those treats. I have a trainer.
Exactly.
Oh, I need to pick up that new lead. Oh, I have the groomer. And I think it's something we're kind of naturally doing in our life retail wise, but then you expand the offerings.
Exactly.
I don't know how many brands you have, and maybe if you said it today, it'd be more tomorrow. Like
exactly.
The amount of products is like, you'd have to have this. I could see an ad of like one trainer with like 1,000 products on them. Like if you wanted the ShopDot experience without us, like this is what you would have to do. You'd have to have a U-Haul truck full of all this
Pretty
retail
much.
stuff. It's a super cool way of expanding their services by a couple
Exactly.
clicks in integration. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's an exciting future. So now we're going to shift a little bit tactical marketing stuff. So
Okay.
looking, because of your brand building, your tech development, community engagement, marketing, how do you stay consistent with your marketing across all these different priorities? You're talking to the tech team about copy. You're talking to the onboarding team. How are you staying? How do you know it's kind of a ShopDot copy or language or imagery when you see it?
That is evolving, obviously, because we're at the early stages. And the key is you want a kind of a consistent kind of feel and tone of your brand, but you kind of have to stay nimble too. We haven't gone from like a marketing standpoint. Right now, we're kind of building the foundation. So we haven't kind of poured like really ignited like PPC or all of those kind of classic things that you see with driving traffic. And I'm not sure when we're going to implement that. I think our strategy right now is really be very focused on getting quality brands on our platform. And then again, partnering out with these channel partners and resellers potentially to really grow the selling partner side. And so right now it's a very personal thing. We have an awesome team. It's a small team, but because I think we're a smaller team, we're able to stay really connected about what's working, what's not. And because we're hearing feedback immediately, we can say, okay, this is a problem. We need to address it immediately. And we can make that change. We're not this kind of big company from a bureaucratic standpoint where it takes a long time to implement significant change. And I think that's really important. What they say in early stage companies is you build to not scale, right? Because if you're trying to build something to scale immediately, it's going to change so quickly. So you focus so much energy on optimizing something that hasn't been optimized yet. So it's one of those things that I think it's very, very critical right now to not build to scale, to spend that extra time interacting with both sides of the platform of selling partners and the brands. And then over time, once you gain more significant traction, then your next, it's kind of the J curve. There's a book called J curve. It's a very similar model of thinking about that point, how do we take this and rinse and repeat and scale it, right? But right now we're at that stage where we're not building to scale quite yet. We're close though. We're about probably 9 to 12 months away from that. But so it's going to be like not a lot of sleep, and it's just all hands on deck, and the team is working really hard, but it's been a lot of fun too. So it's like, this is my second company. In the early days of a company, you're so stressed out, and you feel like just trying to kind of get by and take in all the feedback and incorporate it as quickly as possible. But then as you grow, you kind of miss these days. So this being my second company, I'm really trying to be more conscious of that, of just really appreciating where I'm at right now and not trying to kind of force myself to rush through it prematurely, because that can easily happen.
Very much so. That was my first step into the pet industry, was in a early stage tech startup, and it felt like every day was critical. Like what happened on Monday was what happened on Monday. I couldn't even predict Friday versus, you get to a place where it's like, I know what happens on Monday and Friday, and Thursday we get donuts. But it was like every day you're like on a razor's edge. I absolutely agree. I love that feeling as well. But I understand the like nimbleness, and you're like, well, this came in and this stopped, and this production and this thing, and then this opportunity, and then you're really in it. So it's an exciting place to be. So looking back, what maybe marketing campaign or opportunity or your recent pitch at Global Pet Expo, what are you most proud of? What made it work? Or what are you most proud of? Like a recent accomplishment, a recent thing in trying to ShopDot Pets. I know probably it'll change tomorrow, but as we're sitting here today.
That's such a funny question to ask a founder, because I don't think any founder spends any time thinking about, at least the ones that I know and myself, I don't think about what I'm happy about or proud of. I just see all the problems, and I was like, oh no.
Some self-reflection, maybe.
Yeah. So like, if you ask me what problems I have, like how long is this podcast? If you ask me about accomplishments, I'm like, I don't know. I haven't spent any time thinking about it in that way. It's very horrible, but it's very true. I guess most recently we won the Purina Pet Care Innovation Prize, and that was a huge validation for what we're doing as a company. and the innovation that we're providing in this space. I think and as a result, I had a chance to pitch at Global the other month. We had so many people come up to us saying, how can we partner? Like, you're doing something so different, so unique, so needed. So many people have come to me and just said, I've been waiting for someone to do what you're doing, and it's about time, right? And how can I support this? Because this is a platform where it's such a win-win-win for so many players in the industry. If you look at it, there's a huge gap between pet brands and these service-based businesses where brands have tried to work and engage with these service businesses, but it's been challenging because of traditional retail lends itself to just a few models: e-commerce, like straight up e-commerce as a brand, or wholesale or marketplace. Like, that's it. So if you don't fit into those, where does that leave these like service-based businesses, these groomers and trainers and rescues and shelters? It becomes a bit disjointed and trying to figure out the model based on what's existed. So I think that what's been really validating is people are excited about it. People want this to be successful, and they're giving us a lot of great feedback. And we have a busy 12 months ahead and a huge product roadmap, but we have a lot of supporters, which is awesome.
Well, that's awesome. We got through that. We got through the praise moment. You did it. All the good things. I was like, I knew the Pet Innovation
That's all I got.
I was like,
I'm done.
I was like, I'll throw a softball out there. Maybe something else.
Nothing.
So some advice here from maybe fellow CEOs, fellow entrepreneurs, launching something innovative, launching something new, especially in the B2B tech space. What's one piece of marketing advice you'd share to help them build momentum? Marketing or professional advice you'd help them to build momentum?
Okay, I think one thing, founders in general who are starting a company, they're so any business. I think the key is be passionate, but don't be precious. And I think that's a really critical thing, because it's a fine line sometimes. Like, you can be so passionate and just be so monomaniacal about how you want something to be that you're missing out on all the opportunities. And I think you can be passionate, but don't be precious about what you're doing. Think about like the end result and what do you ultimately want to achieve, not necessarily how you achieve it, because that can change. And so I think that's one piece of advice that I have just learned throughout the years. And I think about that, when somebody pushes back on something that I felt so strongly about, when I think back on that, I was like, they're right. We can achieve it's a better way of reaching the same goal. And I think that's something that I think about on a regular basis.
I love that. Be passionate, but not precious.
Not precious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like you have the heart for what you're doing, but sometimes you might shift, and it seems like you've shifted and pivoted, even in this conversation on what happened, stories you've told, you've had to do that, and you've seen the fruit from that as well. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for ShopDot.Pet, for your time, for your innovation. I'm excited to see the next 12 months and beyond. I feel like we'll all look up in 12, 18 months, and this will just be what the world is. So thank you for leading the future of the pet space. Where can people learn more about Shop.Pet and potentially follow your journey?
You can LinkedIn connect with me. Michelle-Huie is my handle on LinkedIn. Also shop.pet.com. So check it out there.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for listening. Make sure to follow this journey. If you're a pet service provider, please reach out to ShopDot. Get this integrated, get this started, be a part of the future, be a part of this trend, this incredible innovation in the space. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Joe.